So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a good thing that you play Trist too, because Trist is a champion that if you say get filled mid lane, you can just play her there as well. So if you queue for say ADC on mid, then you can basically practice as an ADC in either lane, which is obviously very useful. So we went cleanse. Who were we playing into? Was it like a Leona or? Okay, so what was it? Leona, Varus?
I don't know.
Do you remember? Okay, so Varus, okay. Okay, I mean, that's fine.
This lane was really rough.
Yeah, it's always going to be. Like, they outrange you massively. And I mean, you do have a Lulu, though. So, one of the things you have to, like, realize sometimes here. So, you already made a really, really big mistake. So, right here, we should never even level an ability first on Trist. So, just don't level your E, because the problem we're going to have now is we are going into a lane that is very, very aggressive. And they're going to be pushing us very, very hard. And now we have no option but to kind of push the wave back into them because of our E-splash on minion kill. So one of the main things you can do on Tristana to avoid this is just don't take any ability at level 1. And then when you're about to hit level 2, take your W and, well, your E and your W, you know? Because the thing is, you're never going to be able to get a fully stacked bomb on either of these anyway. Like, Senna's 600 range, Varus's Q's like 1400, so... So yeah, so this is also a lane which this is going to feel very, very bad to do. But you need to stop always giving a leash to your jungler. Like, Mundo is a little bit rough for clearing. But you need to basically get pressure early so that you can get pressure in this lane through the early levels. Because as soon as you hit level 6, you can completely destroy them. You've got cleanse as well. You just completely farm them until the end of days. But the problem is, if you lose priority and they start pushing on you early into the laning phase, this is going to be extremely hard for you to actually come back in. And you're going to end up in this situation where you're losing the level 2, etc, etc. Whereas if you would have just said, sorry, I can't leash this game, the jungler might have been a little bit annoyed, but it's better to have a slightly more annoyed I mean, he's probably just pissed anyway. He's playing jungle. Like, he's probably mental boomed already. But, like, you want to basically play for yourself always, you know? Like, if you end up screwing your lane up for, you know, to save your jungler mental booming a little bit, then he's probably going to boom at some point in the game anyway. And it's...
No, I I always leash because this jungles are mental. If you don't leash, they come to your lane and then GG.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, but this is kind of one of the things, like, yeah, they do, but honestly, sometimes, if you can hard win a game by getting pressure in lane, then that's great, you know?
Yeah, that's... I can't get level 2 if my Mundus on lane, you know?
Well, yeah, I guess, I mean...
Yeah,
I mean, that will happen... I mean, I guess that'll happen sometimes, to be fair, but...
Yeah,
I mean...
like, have big ego.
Yeah, I mean, especially you're in that D1 range, right? You're D1 right now, right? I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, you'll get mental players in D1 no matter what. Like, it's kind of crazy. D1's one of the worst.
I force the mental thing, you know?
What's that, sorry?
But I don't want to force the mental thing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, it's kind of one of them things that, like, this lane could go completely different if you get that early pressure, like completely different. Because if you get level 2 first on Trist, like especially into 2 champs with no mobility, like you're gonna basically pretty much 100 to 0 one of them, you know. So it's like, even if your jungler does mental boom, as long as you play the lane correctly and manage to abuse that and get that kill, then that's great, you know. Like, the jungler won't matter when you're feeding him like free LP at 10 minutes into the game, you know? So yeah, it sounds very... Or, like, it doesn't sound nice to do, but sometimes you have to. Like, a good jungler will realize, but, you know.
A good jungler would start top lane if he got the fucking nose.
Well, yeah. I mean, he can get prior, like, but I mean, to be...
ceiling.
I mean, to be fair though, top lane's almost guaranteed prio, so it's not the end of the world that he path top, but I mean, he's still pathing into a Nasus, so it's kind of...
Yeah. We can get prio too if we, like...
Bomb and cannon, yeah, easy.
Strong side, I can get prio always.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to bomb the cannon, it's very easy. So here, obviously, just be careful with these attacks. Like, one thing that I always found when playing ADC is it's very easy to just throw out a random attack without even thinking about it. Where it's kind of the same as when you play a mage, you don't want to be using mana for no reason. You kind of don't want to be using autos for no reason either, right? Because an auto on a minion there could have potentially been an auto on them, and they're still going to push in anyway. And we're also rushing that one, so the tower is kind of popping it. Another thing here as well is we're kind of using our bomb when we're not going to be able to commit to this. So again, this is just kind of one of them things where this wave is coming into you now and this is going to crash into you, right? So if the wave is going to crash into you here, what's that going to mean for in, say, 1 minute's time? So we've got a wave here. When the next wave comes out, 30 seconds. What? And then the next wave after that, another 30 seconds. What's that going to mean for your lane?
You mean what the enemy want to do?
Well, what's going to happen no matter what? So, off basic fundamentals of how these waves are going to interact, what is going to happen soon? So, if we go back to, say, here, what is going to happen in this lane since they're just hard pushing?
Yeah, they can recall, they can poke me on the tower.
Okay. So, it is going to crash, yeah? Now, they can't really cheat her because the wave is too small.
Yeah, they like messed up.
Yeah, so they messed up, so they can't really cheat it right now.
Like trading HP.
Yeah, so
And
what?
diving, maybe.
So they can't really dive you, not yet. But we're now going to be in a position where this is going to crash, and then the wave is going to eventually stack and then reset here, and then we're going to get a slow push into them. Now, like we've previously mentioned, this is kind of one of the things that you want to look for, especially on champions like Tristana, is these engage timers are really, really big. And when you're playing against players kind of at higher levels of play, where they're not going to make silly positional errors, they're not really going to kind of put themselves in a position where you're going to be able to farm them over and over. So what we have to do is use waves in order to help us. So, for example, here, this is going to crash, we're going to get a slow push, and then we can look to be aggressive around that slow push rather than normal, because 9 times out of 10 in these elos, ADCs will just walk up to the wave just so that they can get one caster and they can die for it, you know? So you always want to basically force them into a position where they're going to make a mistake rather than just kind of waiting and seeing if they make a mistake, you know? We want to try and force them into it. Okay. Obviously, Tristana is very janky to farm with on the tower because of her E. Okay. So, now, this wave isn't going to slow push. So, this is just going to come back into us. Okay, volley's here. I mean, we're completely fine.
Enemies are like hard grouping.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Oh, wait, did we auto a minion?
No, we
No.
can't see because of flash.
Yeah. So another thing that you can do there as well is put your auto command in before you flash. So see here, like auto and then flash in range, and the auto will come out instantly after the flash. So when they're cancelled.
Input buffering is... That should do it.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Especially on champions like Trist as well, where input buffering can be very good, especially with your WE.
Yeah.
Okay. So we get a reset. What was the CS there? 27 to 20, okay. So we got a 7 CS lead, which is good. I mean, he has an assist, but either way. I do like that you went for this pickaxe first, to be fair. So Tristana's one of the few ADCs where Greaves are very good, but they're not as good on her as other champions, for example, because she already has the tools to stick to people. One of the biggest things with kind of boots in general is they're so good because you have the ability to stay on top of somebody and keep autoing them while you have more movement speed. But with Trish, you don't really need that because you have this W that can get you in range anyway, so...
Yeah, I don't like to go boots anyways because Mythic is too good.
I think on some champions, going boots first is like, insane. If you're playing something like Kog'Maw or Jinx.
Kog'Maw and Jinx, yes. These are like the only two ones where I would go at XP boots.
I mean, you've got Ashe.
Lane like Varus Vel'Koz or something like that.
I mean, you've got Ashe as well. Ashe is very good with early boots. There's a lot of ADCs that are good with early boots, to be fair. It's just a case of sticking on people. Usually the immobile ADCs are the ones that make best use of it, because they're usually immobile because they do a lot of damage to autos, and they're just very good. Obviously, you've got things like Jhin as well, but... So I'd say it is very common to rush boots. It's just not on Trist. Or things like Kai'Sa, where you have E and ult. Okay, so we've got a slow push. So here, this is where you need to be looking to kind of jump, because the Senna's so low on mana, and the Varus doesn't have 6 yet. So here, this is where you want to look to jump, especially since she's an auto here. You could literally just jump like this, and then get your fully proc bomb on her, and then if Varus even comes up to contest you, you just walk back like this. So this is a point where you have the ability to get pressure, and you're not taking it. So again, we know we've got a cannon wave here. And we know the Senna's got no mana. So we're playing very, very safe here. Oh, we did actually start pinging it, but we've already missed our window now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking the minion will instantly die, but another minion died first.
Okay.
That's why I died there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 1 million for my...
Yeah, that was sad. I mean, the thing is here, the problem is here, the actual time you choose to go in. Because you still got a cannon that's ready to take right here, and this cannon's guaranteed gold. There's at least 100 plus gold here. So, like, okay, you could get the kill, but you're also going to trade that kill back, whereas you could get this insta-get level 6 and then jump in. So it was the timings that you chose for it that were kind of bad. The moment you had to jump, which was here, so this was your perfect time to jump, to chunk them down, so that then when you get to level 6, you can kill them again. But, and he did heal, so we didn't take that into consideration. Another thing we could have also done here is we could have instantly leveled up 6 her as we W. So again, input buffer your R with your W, and you'll ult her up here, and then you'll go like this, and then you'd actually survive. So this was, I'd say that was down to mechanical errors more than anything. I'd say the initial was kind of not realizing when you had to go, and then secondary was just kind of not using your ult, pretty much. Which again, that is a hard kind of moment to pull off. That's a hard kind of mechanical sequence, but if you want to improve, then it's best to actually know that these things exist and then just focus on it. Now, another thing you can do as well, especially since I think one of your biggest kind of issues that I'm seeing repetitively is kind of just the way that you're viewing minions, and kind of the way that you're not preparing for multiple waves, you're not engaging when your minions are good for it, you're not playing back when they're bad. One of the biggest things you could do with all these things that we have been covering is, do you have any sticky notes? You know, like the physical, like sticky notes, so you can write things on and stick them. Okay, so one thing I would recommend, and I recommend this to most people, is set yourself, say, 2 or 3 sticky notes, or you could do more, maybe 4 or 5, it's completely up to you, and just write on them things that you know that you're having issues with right now, or that you know, I need to focus on how I'm controlling waves, and then stick them around your monitor. Not so it's covering your monitor at all, but just make sure they're around it. And then what you can do is you can see the mistakes that you're focusing on as you're playing repeatedly. So you end up looking at the mistakes so much that your brain basically helps you learn it massively. So it's a really big thing that you can do to just help yourself learn certain things. And it's very, very beneficial.
Yeah, Nico told me the same, but I didn't buy it yet.
Okay. Oh, Nico the Pico?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's very big for it.
One for Champions League early game, mid game, late game.
Yeah.
Like this was like Nico his point.
Yeah, Nico's okay. Nico's good. Okay, so now we're 3-1-0. So this is good. Okay, so this is bad though that we're actually going for this. So this was really bad. So the problem is here, we don't know where they are and we have a free recall. So we only want to get this one plate. And then as soon as we get this, we want to leave. Because right now this wave already isn't big enough for us to do this. So this isn't actually going to stack up very much at all. So what we actually want to do here is just get one plate and jump away. Now this is a very common thing as well, but you can't kind of greed for plates. Like it's the 160 gold that you actually get from this plate is not worth the tempo that you're going to like lose from overstaying in the lane. Now if you have a cannon, that's usually always a guaranteed one plate, but you never want to go too much over that. Purely because it's not great. And let's say you've got something like a Leona or a Nautilus that maybe have Demolish, then that's maybe different, but in general you lose way too much tempo. Yeah, you don't get the second plate and then... Yeah.
I greeted for the minion waves.
Yeah, and now... Yeah, and now you just died, yeah. So this was because we kind of... The pushing the waves in were fine, but then the... Like, continuing to get that second plate and push the wave, like you were saying, was really bad. Okay. So this, to be honest, is, I mean, probably a Gale Force game too. You've got so much stuff you need to get away from, and Gale Force is good into their squishies here.
But if they got like 2 things, you have to go Kraken.
I mean, you can also go Lord Doms, which again is incredibly
good. It's way better to go Kraken against.
Yeah, the thing is though, like sometimes the extra damage that you actually get out of Kraken, like if you're still gonna die, then it's not worth it because that extra time that you can actually stay alive will actually offset the damage, and you'll end up doing more damage overall because you survive longer. So sometimes it's a little bit of a bait to go Kraken. So this was just kind of all around sort of bad. So we get her flash here, but then we go up instead of walking into lane. Now what's happening here is we're jumping up into darkness instead of into safety. Like, and then obviously this happens. But we also had cleanse there, so. Oh god. That Lulu would be so angry if she dies here. Oh god. Okay, we kind of killed Lulu, to be honest. Like... Alright, so... I'm surprised she didn't start flaming. But yeah, here it's just, we were just being way too kind of...
She can't flame.
Oh, okay, fair. I mean, that's good though, so... Oh, okay, nice. That perfect respawn time. Okay. So here we could have just bombed the tower. So here we should have started setting up our bomb. We should have put a bomb on it, set it up, make it to 1 stack, and then when the wave comes, then just pop it. Especially since we see Silas top 2 and volley. So where are we going now? Wait, did we go all the way here just for crab? Okay, we got this too. Okay, this was a fine rotation. Like, although here, yeah, so here, like, rotating back into bot was bad. Because if you're going to make this rotation into mid to soak this wave, you may as well just get plates on this mid tower. Because now, like, you've just pushed a wave in, you've got your E available, and you know where 2 of them are in bot lane. And you know that the Silas was top, so he'll be on reset, which means he'll be coming back through this way. So you'll see him actually coming back, so getting a plate or 2 here would have actually been much better than going bot, because now they've got plates in bot, and you haven't got any elsewhere on the map. So now you're actually at a gold deficit, when you could have been at a positive. And see, we could have even stayed around mid with this Herald and got first tower. So yeah, so that was kind of, again, that was kind of a thing of you didn't set yourself up preemptively. And I think this is another kind of recurring theme with some of your gameplay that I'm noticing is a lot of the times you're playing very reactively to things that are actually happening, instead of proactively. So doing things like walking up into a fight, evaluating what you have, what you're going to do from that fight if you win it, and what you're going to do from that fight if you lose it. And then other things like, I'm going to roam into mid lane. What am I going to do after I roam into mid lane? Okay, push this mid tower. Whereas here you kind of, it's kind of like a moth to a flame. You kind of roamed up to get this nice wave, which was a cannon. Great. Even though cannons do give less gold in mid lane at this stage of the game. So just something to take note of. But we cleared that cannon, and then we didn't really do anything. Now, we cleared a cannon, and we had a cannon wave up, right? Yeah, so this is even worse. So do you know the special thing about cannons in mid lane? What makes them special? Huh?
They got a penalty.
Somewhat. So they've also got a buff. So in mid lane, the cannons give, I think it's 10 less gold until 14 minutes. But they also have 30% bonus attack speed against mid lane towers. So if you come into mid like this and you push this wave in, you're actually going to get more off this mid tower than you would off the bot tower. Because again, this cannon has 30% bonus attack speed. So this rotation was very good, but I just want us to make sure that in the future we're following up fully, and I think that comes from preemptively thinking what you're going to do with each thing. And to be fair, Mundo did actually ping you here as well, but we backed off.
I wanted to make kills, it was good.
I mean, we would have got more gold there. But, I mean, again, this was a big mistake, but that's still something we can work on. And I think, like I said, that all comes down to the way that you just plan out your steps. It's like chess, for example. Like, when you play chess and you make an opening move, there's a set number of other moves that you can do second, third, etc. And it's kind of very linear, which leads to some degree is too. But it's a case of actually doing those things. So this fight is very good for us, but we're way too safe here. So one of the big things here is we have to kind of realize when things are actually happening, right? Because what we've done here is we've played safe, okay, and then we've seen that this Katarina is walking up, and we also see that she's thrown her dagger. So she's pretty strong. She's level 10, and there's 2 level 8s. So she's always going to jump in here. So what you want to do is you want to preemptively jump in. So you want to jump in early, get on volley bear, do a lot of damage, and then again, that'll allow you to get your reset and then keep going. Right here, this fight is going on, and we're all the way back here. So positioning is kind of another really, really big one in this scenario, and I think that's something to work on too. Just because this could have been very, very big for us. We could have got 4 kills here very easily, I think. I mean, to be fair, we could have got Penta here. This would have been a very easy Penta for you if you just played a bit more aggressive. So again, like I said, team fighting is hard, but making sure that you're really pushing your leads and using your champion for what they're meant to be for in those situations is really, really good. Especially if you see somebody that's dropping very low HP, your W is the same range going in as it is coming out. So if you just get in, finish them off, even assist, and then get out, then you're fine. So this very like hyper aggressive playstyle, something that you really, really have to pick up on Tristana, because that's kind of what makes the champion so good, to be honest. Especially later on into the game, where the range out of her E, R, everything like that is much higher due to her base attack range increasing out of passive. So at this point though, I mean, the game is kind of straightforward. What I do want to see here though is how you interact with the map after you're ahead. Okay, so right here. Okay, so this kind of another mistake, right? Because we have two of us in mid lane, and we know that the Senate and the Silas are bot lane, and the Nasus is top. So the only kind of people that can stop us here are going to be the Varus and the Volibear. Now the thing is here, we're just gifting this Varus this wave. Now if we're just going to hard push this wave into him, then we need to be able to back it up and follow it. And even at this point of the game, right here in this moment, what do you have on the map to do? Like, what is there for you to do on the map?
I recruit the units.
Okay, so I mean, mid's fully down, and okay, there is potentially camps in their jungle. We don't know that for sure. So what could we have done here? There's two options that we could have gone for. One of them would be to push this wave hard and then just jump on whoever shows up. If it's a Varus, he just dies instantly. The second one, we could have actually just kept this wave here. We could have actually set up a slow push. Because there's no objectives for us to get on the map right now. So there's nothing for us to actually get priority for except walking into their jungle and get vision. But we can't walk into their jungle and get vision while the Mundo, who is our main tank, is in base. So what we want to do here is, instead of instantly hard forcing this wave, we want to hold it here and only last hit the wave, get this wave, maybe another wave if we're lucky, and then push them both in. Then what we can do is, with the Mundo, we can just walk through their entire jungle, putting wards everywhere with the Lulu, and then we can just sit in a brush and wait. Or we can then pressure Baron as soon as it's up, which I'm not sure where the time, 6 minutes. No, sorry, 15:57, 4 minutes. So in 4 minutes that Baron's up. So you want to be setting up lanes so that you can potentially just go straight to it. Because with a Mundo and a Lulu, you guys can 3-man that Baron at 20 minutes. Because we've got 4 kills. So making sure that you're setting yourself up for things that you want to achieve is also really, really important. And again, it comes to thinking ahead about what you want to do. Because right now, this is just a normal wave. We push this into Varus. He's going to instantly clear the wave. Carrying is safe in bot lane. Nothing's come out of that. And Nasus isn't going to move from top lane. So now we're left saying, well, what do we do? What can we do? And the only answer is to actually force that wave in and pressure him. Because he got to farm that wave for free. Now we go on him, which is good, but this is way later than it could have been, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So now getting all these camps is good. So this is very good as well. Making sure to kind of cut off the enemy's supply of gold is always good. So forcing waves into towers, taking jungle camps is always beneficial. Even though I think Volibear did get double red because your Mundo died. There we go. Right, so right here, I mean, we're very strong. Okay, so okay, this is unfortunate that she got a shroud. Oh, that was very risky though. Just because it's still a Nasus, you know. Now, one of the big problems here actually was who you were focusing. Now, the Nasus is obviously very strong, but the fact we're focusing him out when there's two squishies here is not too great. So right here, especially this Senna, look how she splits off. Like, so we want to be looking for those squishy targets so we can jump in with that E, instantly pop off, and then jump back out. Even though we don't actually have that much mana. So we couldn't even ult him. So, did you not realize you had little mana, or? 1 second, I can't hear you. Give me a moment.
I was thinking...
Oh. There we go.
I was thinking I killed Nasus.
Oh, hold on, give me 2 seconds. The volume's gone like super low. What did you say, sorry?
I said that I was thinking the Nasus would instant die.
Okay.
That's why
okay.
I jumped.
I mean, it was still fine. For some reason, you're like really quiet for me. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. So.
Better?
Right. So yeah, let's go. Right. So. Yeah, I mean, you did kind of, you were low mana. If you had mana, that was fine, you know, because you could have ulted Nasus away, but I think, yeah, just focusing the squishies out there would have probably been better. Right, so we will just finish this up now. Because the thing is, this game becomes very easy for you because Katarina's so fed.
Yeah, true.
So again here somewhat the waves, just mid lane is getting farmed for free and it's a cannon, so to be honest we could have just ignored this fight entirely and we could have actually just gone with this minion wave through, oh it's gone back, through into the inhib and then we could have gone down and met the Katarina. Whereas instead there's this kind of that big fight, it was a bit later, right? This is the game you win, actually, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this was... Again, we kind of walked a little bit too far in. We got a little bit greedy. Oh, we didn't stopwatch here. So yeah, this is a late game Nasus. Like we have to just get ready with things like that stopwatch. What did we actually build stopwatch for here actually?
Always build stopwatch.
Always? How come?
Yeah, it's like cloud efficiency. Like it's really good item on ADCs. One of the best items if you're ahead. Like
Yeah. I guess if you're ahead. But the thing is, obviously. Do you turn it into GA or?
No, I just said it. It's like just one usage.
Okay.
I carry like the best ADCs in the world building stopwatch. It's like really good efficiency.
I mean,
650 for carrying team fights.
I mean, yeah, one team fight. The other problem is though, it's like you can't turn that into GA unless you're ridiculously ahead, just because GA sucks. This is very bad.
But it doesn't matter. It's just like one usage. You just use stopwatch and it's it is.
Okay. So this is, I presume, where we just end. I want to find that point where we were at before with the Senna. I can't remember what it was. With the big fight that happened in that kind of jungle entrance. Oh, here. Okay. So yeah, what I was previously saying about this earlier is you just don't want to look for that fight. You want to just look to get this wave pushed in, get some damage on the inhib, and then go and meet Katarina in bot lane. Because this fight's already over. Like, we're not going to change anything about this fight. It's already doomed. So we could at least get a little bit of damage on inhib and then go down to Cat. Maybe get some damage on that tower, unlock another inhib. Yeah, let's skip forward. So how did we die before Baron? Oh, this we... Okay. So the problem is here, like, you need to just instantly ult this Nasus away. Because otherwise, at this point, it's just going to perma-wither you.
Yeah.
So with Trist, just use it to push away anybody that's going to run you down. It's basically just a tool to create space for yourself. And obviously it stacks your bomb too, which is very useful. But especially if you ult on the last tick, you'll ult them back and then the bomb will pop into them. Yeah, what happened here? Okay, the Mundo stole it. What a beast. Okay, we get this. This was that fight where we didn't stopwatch here. So if we stopwatch here, we could have maybe ended the game. So again, that kind of comes down to, like I said previously, where we're jumping in without preemptively thinking everything we have available. So here, you'd be jumping in going, okay, I have stopwatch available, and it's like your finger is sat on stopwatch waiting to use it. Whereas we didn't do that. Okay, so we need to be being way more aggressive in these situations, because right here there's no way that they kill us all, right? All we have to do is W away from the Nasus. Now, what do you think is wrong with your positioning here?
I don't auto attack, I just go right.
Okay, now is this Varus ever going to survive in this situation?
No.
Not a chance. There's no way he's ever going to survive. So, we need to be walking as Tristana, preparing ourselves for our next jump. Because if we can jump as soon as we reset, great. So one thing that we could be doing here is jump on top of him, damage him, and start walking this way. So that as soon as he dies, then we can instantly jump again. We're here. Nasus is here. We kill Senna. You know? So we're using our W to avoid the Nasus while also killing them all. But the problem is here, we walk backwards in this team fight. And now, even if we jump, we're not going to get directly on top of them. So if we see how it plays out. So see, we walk backwards here. And now, even if we jump, we're going to end up not even being able to hit the center. Like, we're nowhere near auto attack range. Where our jumps, when we're in this dominant position, we need to be using it as a aggressive tool rather than just defensive. So this is a really big thing on Tristana that is very important. If you know somebody's going to 100% die, just get ready for your next jump. And get in position so that you get the most value out of your next jump. And then you do it again and again and again. And then you'll get to those points with those team fights where Tristana is just nuts. She's just super strong. So, yeah, so I'll stop that recording there.